WQAD News 8, this is a Good Morning Quad Cities update.
Good morning, Quad Cities. I'm Devin Brooks. It's just before 8 o'clock, and here's what's making headlines. Right now, there are still hundreds of outages throughout the News 8 viewing area after the severe storms that rolled through last night. Here's a quick look at the number of customers impacted by those storms. The largest number is from Mid-American Energy, but Alliant, ComEd, and Ameren, Illinois are also all handling repairs this morning. And our live storm team coverage continues on our WQAD 8+ streaming app. In just a few minutes, Good Morning Quad Cities at 8 airs. And this morning, we'll be live at a hard-hit community in Rock Island County. News 8's Marshawn Gunn is bringing you the latest on recovery efforts in the Quad Cities area. And that's only on the Plus app. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Yeah, and Marshawn is actually in an area that the National Weather Service will be looking at as we go throughout today to determine, was that straight line wind damage or did we see tornado activity? So stick with us. As soon as we know, we'll pass that along to you. 70s today, poor air quality too. There's an air quality alert in place until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with hazy sunshine. We'll have hazy skies tonight, mostly clear with lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow, a little bit cleaner air working in, partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the low 80s. Here's what I mean about that air quality. This is the AQ index right now. And look at that red to the northwest of us. That's what's on the way here for this afternoon. We're going to talk more about that about an hour from now when you join us for Ask Andrew live on the 8+ app.
From WQAD News 8, this is Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning, Quad Cities. It's Wednesday, June 4th. I'm Devin Brooks.
I'm Ava Hedges. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Quad Cities at 8.
And I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky. Still, all of us recovering from a very wild and at times violent night last night.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people sleep deprived today after the intense storms last night. We're going to have a live report here in just moments looking at one of the communities hit, one of the hardest so far that we've seen. But there's a lot of questions that still remain, more than answers, Andrew.
That's right. And we're going to hopefully get some answers in terms of what blew through here last night. Was this wind damage? Was this tornado damage? That's what we're going to hear from the National Weather Service later today. And I'll highlight some of those areas that they're going to visit coming up in just a little bit. Here's a recap, a quick and dirty recap of what happened last night. 81-mile-per-hour wind gust in Burlington, the fastest wind speed I've seen, at least out of this storm, at least in terms of observed. Multiple reports of tree and power line damage. We've also had reports of a train derailment in Fort Madison. Also reports of the doors being blown off some of the convenience stores there in Fort Madison as well. Looks like they took a really big direct hit there. And again, we'll find out from the National Weather Service later what exactly that was. The rain is now coming to an end. There's just a little bit of drizzle into the Sauk Valley, also into Henry County near Princeton and Bureau County there too, right through Geneseo, right along I-80 you're seeing some drizzle. We're going to keep these clouds in place for a few more hours and eventually work in some clearing. We're in the 60s right now, and we'll see these temperatures return to the 70s as we head into the afternoon. One thing about today is the wildfire smoke has a better chance of making it to the ground. You'll be able to smell it, and that means really poor air quality. How long that will be sticking around for, we'll be tracking it coming up.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, we're continuing to follow the storm recovery happening right now in Rock Island County.
Yeah, all morning we have been at Woodland Trailer Mobile Home Park, and residents are surveying the damage from yesterday's storm. You can see the community map down on your screen. It's north of Coyne Center, which is south of Milan. And News 8's Marshawn Gunn is live to tell us what you've been seeing this morning, Marshawn.
Yeah, guys, as the morning's going on, more and more people here in this community have started to show up to help clean up this area that has been hard struck by those storms last night. If you look behind me, you'll see that house that was basically cut in half by a fallen tree. The owners have now shown up, started collecting as many things as possible because, you know, that is their livelihood. It's what they know. So they're trying their best just to clean everything up. And as you look down the street, the damage doesn't get any better. The trees are down. That tree that you see there was laying across the road this morning before community members and fire departments moved it off the road. This morning, Coyne Center fire crews are back out here assessing the damage. They say everyone has been safe, but the chief says it's been a true community effort to get through this.
We've had great support from our community. They're out handing out water to people and to the fire crew. We've had great support with our neighboring fire department. So we've had a great community outpour in the neighboring departments.
Along with that, there's been multiple Mid-American trucks out here trying to get the power back up in this neighborhood, along with the rest of the Quad Cities. So as the morning goes on, we will continue to bring you updates. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
We should also point out we have not heard of any reports of any injuries, so that's a miracle considering all of the damage that we can see from all of our footage. Thank you so much, Marshawn, joining us from Coyne Center just south of Milan. And as the day continues, our News 18 will continue to bring you updates on how last night's storm is affecting the Quad Cities area.
Well, it's been a busy night for utility crews in the Quad City area. 1 hour ago, Mid-American says it's identified more than 40 broken poles and will likely find more. The company says this morning news crews from around Iowa are rotating in to continue restoration work. This is new video from the intersection of 18th Avenue and 31st Street in Moline, north of Avenue of the Cities. And you're asked to avoid this area. You can see that massive tree fell down last night, taking down power lines with it. Now, Mid-American says if you come across what looks like a downed power line, keep your distance.
I cannot emphasize enough how dangerous it is to approach a line that's down. Make an assumption that that line is energized. Don't approach it, don't touch it. Even if you think, well, that's probably not a power line, maybe it's a cable line. Well, that cable line could be touching a power line upstream and makes it just as dangerous.
Any downed power lines should be reported to Mid-American or your area power company. They'll keep the area safe until crews can complete the repair. And there are still hundreds of outages throughout the News 8 viewing area. Here's a quick look at the number of customers impacted by last night's storms. The largest number is still from Mid-American Energy. You can see there over 4,000 customers. This morning we saw over 5,000 customers without power. We spoke with a Mid-American spokesperson live on Good Morning Quad Cities at 6, who says they're working around the clock to restore power to the area and expects that crews will be working well into the night. Right now, Alliant, ComEd, and Ameren are all also handling repairs this morning.
Yeah, we had just heard from that representative, and we know at one point last night it was over 20,000 people who were without power. So now that is great news. We also want to show you a photo taken by one of our viewers in Sherrard, Illinois. This was around 7:30 last night, and you can see the start of what appears to be a tornado spinning around there across the tree line.
Wow, that's incredible picture.
Yeah,
really.
almost looks like something from a movie.
It does,
It's
yeah.
real. And after a storm hits, you should always check for any damage done to your home and property. That includes your power lines, your roof, even gutters. Be sure to check for any leaks in your plumbing and any cracks in your walls and ceilings. You should also file a claim through your insurance company for any damages you find. And you can get disaster assistance through FEMA at the website that's on your screen. And you can also download the FEMA app, or you can call the number on your screen. Let's first give you that website again. It is disasterassistance.gov, and then the phone number is there at the bottom, 800-621-3362. Again, that number to contact FEMA is 800-621-3362.
Well, a fifth victim has died after a deadly crash in central Illinois. This is what it looked like in Chatham, April 28th. A driver plowed through an after-school facility full of kids. An 8-year-old, 2 7-year-olds, and an 18-year-old were killed, and the fifth victim died earlier this week after spending more than a month in the hospital. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
Well, the body of a man has been recovered from the Mississippi River after a 4-day search following a boating accident near Savannah. Police say the accident Saturday resulted in 2 men being thrown from the boat. One of them did make it to shore. All we know about the victim is police say he was a man in his 60s. When we know more, we'll bring that to you. And now we're going to prepare for an update on our weather, Andrew.
Right. Thankfully, the rain is coming to an end right now as we speak, and some drier skies coming in for the afternoon. However, we're going to see some nasty air quality at times. That's what we're going to be tracking and how long it sticks around coming up.
And also the time is 6:08, and when we come back, we're going to have more of our storm coverage. We thank you so much for being with us right now for GMQC at 8. Stick around.
From WQAD News 8, this is Good Morning Quad Cities.
We're going to very likely see some heavy rain take place in many of our hometowns.
We're going to continue to track this and fine-tune those threats.
Bracing for impact as storms roll through our area tonight.
Look at the rainfall, the intensity of that.
The storm system producing some very dangerous conditions.
We had 80-mile-per-hour winds.
The wind was so strong. There was debris flying around crazy.
Disaster proclamations are in effect for more than 20 Iowa counties.
Stream extended coverage. Download on your TV and watch for free. Expertise doesn't come simply from classes and manuals and certifications. Expertise requires real-world experience. That's what Crawford Company has delivered to the Quad Cities for over 70 years. Whether you know us for heating and air conditioning, welded fabrication, plumbing, or electrical, our experts bring you peace of mind knowing you've chosen the best. Crawford Company.
Which would you rather sleep on? Do you have a foundation like that box of toothpicks we just cleaned up in our parking lot? Or does your mattress rest on box springs that give your body the support it needs for a good night's sleep? Call today or visit our stores in Moline and Bettendorf to help us build a custom box spring just for you. Call L&W Bedding for a better night's sleep.
For all these years that we've been working on the 3-degree guarantee, we have raised over $80,000. And I would have to say it's the most successful sponsored partnership, not only here at WQAD, but in the entire market as well. Because we go out of our way to help not only these charities, but the communities involved in these charities. The money that we raise for each and every one of these organizations is a true gift to them.
Pay It Forward.
Thank you.
Shining a spotlight on hardworking people.
There's so many great people out here that want to help and give back that they don't know that there's opportunity to do this.
Determined to make a difference in our community.
I always thought about a way I could bring good back into the community.
Help us keep the Pay It Forward movement going. Nominate somebody on the contest deals page of WQAD.com. We might just give you $300 to give to them.
You're gonna make me cry.
News 8's Pay It Forward, brought to you by Essentra Credit Union.
Good Morning Quad Cities keeps you prepared for whatever the day brings.
Now's the time to start planning ahead.
Stay ahead of the storm with Weather Impact Alert Days.
A couple of thunderstorms tomorrow.
Working overnight to get you the latest breaking news.
Today, crews are starting construction on a portion of I-80.
Start with a team you trust.
Do you think the greater concern is the higher prices on certain goods these tariffs might bring?
On Good Morning Quad Cities. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m. and streaming on WQAD 8+.
Silvis Heights Water has issued a boil order for customers that live north of Crosstown Avenue. The affected neighborhoods are above the red line that you see there on your screen, and Silvis Heights did not say why the order is in place or when it would be lifted.
Well, back to our storm coverage. These are photos from one of our viewers with the damage done to their yard during last night's storms. You can see just large branches, even here the trunk of this tree split and thrown into the yard. This is just one viewer, but the damage is widespread across the Quad Cities area, Andrew.
It really is, yeah. And the big question, I think, on everyone's mind, what moved through last night? Straight line winds, possible tornado, or was it a combination of both? Those are questions we're going to get answered by the National Weather Service as they begin to get out and about in our communities to survey some of the damage. I'll show you a few areas that they're likely going to touch today coming up in a moment. This morning, we've been dealing with the rain kind of on and off, and now some drizzle moving in. But I will say the heaviest accumulating rainfall, it's just about ready to be done for the whole region here. We're drying out in Clinton, though we still have some thick cloud cover that's still in play. And it's the same thing in Prophetstown. But the other thing you're noticing too, this is not fog. This is actually haze from wildfire smoke that is now being pulled to the ground behind this storm system. So our air quality is going to take a big hit today, and that's already happening. And I'll show you that here shortly. We'll go over some of the storm reports, and one of the areas I think you're going to see some damage surveys from the National Weather Service today, right on in this region right here, including Coyne Center, north of Cole Valley, just south of the heart of the Metro Quad Cities. This region here just getting ransacked by strong winds. In fact, there was an impressive video I just found in our text chat where you can text us your photos and videos from South Park Mall. It looks like a full-on hurricane blowing through the opening of that mall. I'll see if I can pull that up here in just a little bit for you. There's also going to be some storm damage surveys here near Fort Madison. We had a train derailment here. Double stacked cars were tipped over completely off the tracks, and a lot of other significant damage in Fort Madison too. So those are the two areas the National Weather Service will for sure be investigating today. Now this is our rotation tracker, and this is from the storms last night, and what it's showing us is the history of rotation as they were moving through. So I want to zoom in here more specifically on the Metro, because this is in that same area where we're likely going to see the National Weather Service do some surveying. And there's kind of a more pronounced little area of rotation that happened right here along Edgington, actually just east of Edgington. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here. There's Andalusia. You've got Edgington right here to the west. Here's Illinois 192. It certainly looks like we could have had something right in here, and this is going to be one of the areas that the National Weather Service is going to be investigating for today. As soon as we learn more, we'll let you know on the News 8 app and, of course, everywhere else that we're connected with you here on WQAD. There you see the rain situation right now. We're pulling all of that eastward, but now we're pulling down all this wildfire smoke, and while it looks like we've got some sunshine out here, which we do, it's a very hazy sunshine that's getting ready to work its way through. 62 here in Moline at this hour with nothing but clouds and smoky haze. 60s also widespread Illinois side and Iowa side at this hour, but much warmer to the east of that cold front, which is still moving through eastern Illinois as we speak. We're going to see temperatures rebound to the 70s again today. A little stickiness to the air, but that will not fuel any additional showers and storms. Dry skies are expected as we get up to 75 this afternoon. Tonight will be clear, but it will still be hazy and the air quality will still be poor. 53 for overnight lows. Tomorrow, I think slightly less smoke. I don't think we're going to have near as bad air quality as today. More sunshine in the morning to start. That should work our way into low 80s for the afternoon. Air quality alert continues for the whole state of Iowa. Why is there nothing on the Illinois side? Two different governing bodies that have two different types of qualifications for this type of alert. So just because it isn't on the Illinois side doesn't mean we're not having poor air quality here. That still means you should limit your time outside. And here's the air quality right now. It's moderate here, which is in yellow. That's the lowest on the scale. But look what happens when you go just a few hours to the north. Right up here, unhealthy for most. And that is for people like me and you if you don't have an underlying health condition. Even for us, it's not healthy to be outside for long periods of time. So that will be dropping southeastward. So it's a good idea to close those windows, turn on the air conditioning today, and limit your time outside if you can. It's going to be a little nasty there. Better day for outdoor activities tomorrow into the weekend. That's looking good. Stray shower thunderstorm will still be possible as we go into Sunday, and then quiet skies early next week. We'll take you into the 14-day because I do think the chance for more severe weather will be making a comeback as we get deeper into June, especially the second half of next week. Look at that, the heat and humidity coming back, and that means more storm clusters.
Yeah, I was one of the people who lost power. Yeah, didn't have it overnight, so I'm glad it's finally back on. And when I was sheltering in place, could just hear that wind and rain whipping.
Oh, I know. I know. My gross curiosity got the best of me, so I probably shouldn't have been that close to the window, but, you know, I went to see what was going on.
Right.
And I swear, within minutes, the sky just went completely dark.
Yep.
It was like a time lapse, but in real time. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
just all of a sudden got completely dark, and rain was just coming down in sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fierce, Andrew.
It really was.
Yeah, fast and furious.
For sure.
All right, we're going to continue to stay on it. Thank you, Andrew.
And remember, you've been a big part of keeping us up to date on these storms. Keep sending us your content, please. Just text photos or videos to the number on your screen. That's 309-304-0888, or you can email them to news@wqad.com.
Still ahead, two remaining undefeated WNBA teams, a brand new golf champion, an American tennis showdown, and a shocking upset in college softball. Women in sports coming up next.
Expertise doesn't come simply from classes and manuals and certifications. Expertise requires real-world experience. That's what Crawford Company has delivered to the Quad Cities for over 70 years. Whether you know us for heating and air conditioning, welded fabrication, plumbing, or electrical, our experts bring you peace of mind knowing you've chosen the best. Crawford Company.
Which would you rather sleep on? Do you have a foundation like that box of toothpicks we just cleaned up in our parking lot? Or does your mattress rest on box springs that give your body the support it needs for a good night's sleep? Call today or visit our stores in Moline and Bettendorf to help us build a custom box spring just for you. Call L&W Bedding for a better night's sleep.
The WQAD8 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time.
What is Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' proposal?
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Weather impact alert is in place.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
There are a couple hundred people here.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. WQAD8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back. Every Tuesday, we highlight some of your biggest sports stories of the week on Women in Sports. And we begin today on the tennis court. The 4 quarterfinal matches are set, a couple of them already done at the French Open. In one of them, it's an American showdown. It's world number 2, Coco Gauff, taking on Rock Island native right there on your screen, world number 8 in Madison Keys. In the first semifinal match, they'll battle it out early tomorrow morning, and you can watch it if you wake up early. It'll be at 4 a.m. Central Time on TNT. And by the way, by getting to this matchup, Coco Gauff is now the youngest player to reach 5 or more quarterfinals at a Grand Slam event since Venus Williams did it at the U.S. Open in 2001. Meanwhile, one of the semifinal matches have also been set, and it's between the two most dominant women in tennis over the past few years. Aryna Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek will go head-to-head. And get this, for all of their dominance over the years, these two have never faced off in a Grand Slam final. And it looks like that'll continue, with only one of them walking away victorious and heading to the championship after their showdown on Thursday morning. And by the way, at this year's French Open, Aryna Sabalenka reached her 10th straight Grand Slam quarterfinal. When asked about it by reporters, she just laughed and called it a crazy stat. And from tennis to golf we go. This weekend, the U.S. Women's Open, the highest paying tournament on the LPGA, wrapped up in Washington County, Wisconsin. And while she didn't win, world number one, American Nelly Korda, tied for second place in her best finish of the 2025 season. Korda has had a bit of a rough start to her year after just dominating last year. But she says she learns a lot about herself and her game every time she plays the U.S. Women's Open. So the winner was Sweden's Maja Stark, who won her very first career major trophy and the $2.4 million purse. She said she'd lost her confidence heading into this tournament, and it was only her decision to stop worrying that led to her win. And real quick in soccer, Team USA played their first match since early April in an international friendly against China this weekend. The Americans walked away victorious, 3-0. The team will now play Jamaica tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time with live coverage on TNT. All right, in the WNBA, the league's in-season tournament, called the Commissioner's Cup, kicks off today. The team from each conference with the top record in the next 5 games will compete in the Commissioner's Cup Championship on July 1st. For the Fever, that includes tonight's game against Washington right here on Channel 8, and then games this Saturday, next Tuesday, next Saturday, and the following Tuesday, June 17th. And there are 2 undefeated teams left in the WNBA. It's the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty that have been dominant so far this season. These were, of course, the 2 teams that faced off in last year's finals. They're both heavy favorites to make it back to the championship once again. We have 2 local ladies nominated for this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standout list. And we'll start with Olivia Snow from Bettendorf. Check that out. Right there, as time expired in the Bulldogs regional final, Olivia scored the game-winning goal. Also nominated this week, Drew Dorsey from Assumption. That you just saw right there was one of her 5 goals in the Lady Knights regional final win. So pull out your phones. Scanning this QR code will take you right to the page where you can vote for any of this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standouts. You have until tomorrow at noon to cast your vote. You can also always find the page to vote at WQAD.com right on the homepage. Each week's winner is featured on Off the Cuff. And finally tonight, it was one of the most shocking upsets in years in the world of college softball. During last night's Women's College World Series semifinals, Texas Tech did the impossible and defeated Oklahoma. The Red Raiders saw a walk-off win in the bottom of the 7th to win 3-2. This ends Oklahoma's streak of 4 consecutive national titles, one of the most dominant stretches in all of college sports history. And now we'll wait to see which softball team wins it all this year after the finals begin in Oklahoma City tomorrow afternoon. That'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.
All right, let's get one last look at what's going on here this morning. A live update of your traffic and weather here. Not a lot of weather happening anymore. There is some drizzle still occurring at this time. Let's get you a live look out there at Clinton. And yeah, a little drizzle. We're going to eventually track some smoke arriving back in place as we go into this afternoon. Some poor air quality heading our way. How long that is expected to stick around and when we'll get some cleaner air and some brighter skies. That's what we're going to be tracking coming up.
Good Morning Quad Cities keeps you prepared for whatever the day brings.
Now's the time to start planning ahead.
Stay ahead of the storm with Weather Impact Alert Days.
A couple of thunderstorms tomorrow.
Working overnight to get you the latest breaking news.
Today, crews are starting construction on a portion of I-80.
Start with a team you trust.
Do you think the greater concern is the higher prices on certain goods these tariffs might bring?
On Good Morning Quad Cities. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m. and streaming on WQAD 8+.
When you need electrical work, count on Crawford Company. The Autolite electricians at Crawford Company have been serving the area since 1967. We can help you with installation, repairs, wiring, lighting, and low voltage electrical like Ethernet cables. Plus, if you have more than just electrical needs, Crawford can be your one-stop contractor. For heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drain cleaning, and electrical, count on Crawford Company.
Do you want to see kitchen and bath remodel stories that are local to the Quad Cities? Then watch the Village Home Show.
Tune in Sundays at 10:30 a.m. for the Village Home Show, right here on WQAD News 8. Pay it forward.
Thank you.
Shining a spotlight on hardworking people. Help us keep the Pay It Forward movement going. We might just give you $300 to give to them.
You're going to make me cry.
News 8's Pay It Forward, brought to you by Essentra Credit Union.
I travel quite a bit, and I love getting home and getting into my L&W mattress. It's a solid latex foam core, and so it doesn't create any hot spots or dead spots where the blood flow is cut off. During the day, I don't feel fatigued, I don't feel sore, and so really it's about quality of life. So I recommend L&W bedding to people so that they can get the proper sleep that they need.
L&W Bedding, Moline and Bettendorf.
We're going to very likely see some heavy rain take place in many of our hometowns.
We're going to continue to track this and fine-tune those threats.
Bracing for impact as storms roll through our area tonight.
Look at the rainfall, the intensity of that.
The storm system producing some very dangerous conditions.
We had 80-mile-per-hour winds.
The wind was so strong. There was debris flying around crazy.
Disaster proclamations are in effect for more than 20 Iowa counties.
Stream extended coverage. Download on your TV and watch for free. The WQAD8 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time.
What is Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' proposal?
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Weather impact alert is in place.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
There are a couple hundred people here.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. WQAD8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, coming up on GMQC at 11, we'll continue to follow storm damage and power outages, keeping you updated as we learn more. Plus, it's Wednesday and no storm keeps Craig Hignite down. We'll have him live in our second half hour, answering all your burning plant and garden questions. But first, let's get a final check of our forecast, Andrew.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of volatile weather last night. This morning, just a lot of dreary skies and still some wildfire smoke. That's what you're seeing right here, not fog. That is the smoke now reaching near the ground. So it may smell like something's burning today. That's likely what it's going to be. Rain is coming to an end as we speak. Just a little light drizzle left over with lots of clouds. We're in the low 60s right now. We'll take you through Future Track, and there you see 75 today with hazy sunshine expected for this afternoon. As we go into tonight, low 50s, hazy skies continue. Tomorrow, a little more summer-like as we get into the 80s, but it looks like we're also going to have more sunshine too. Don't forget, coming up about 30 minutes from now, Ask Andrew live at the top of the hour. That'll be right here where you're at now on the A Plus app. We're going to be going into a deep dive, recapping the severe storms from yesterday, where the National Weather Service is going to be checking out some damage and what else we have ahead in the next several days. When could we see more storms? All of that we'll track on Ask Andrew Live at 9.
Yeah, I look forward to that because there are still so many questions that we have, more than answers, especially if there was a tornado, if there were multiple tornadoes, or just wind that came throughout our viewing area.
Lots to find out. Hats off to the National Weather Service getting those warnings out last night. Phenomenal work getting that alert out.
Absolutely. All right, and to your team as well. You and James and everyone else. Thank you so much for watching GMQC at 8. Our next news is at 11 o'clock, but be sure to join Andrew and the team at 9 o'clock right here on the A Plus app. We really appreciate you being here. Have a great day, everyone.